We're going to start the City of Hudson Public Safety Committee meeting. It's Thursday, April 10th. Can we have roll call, please, Melanie?
Alderperson Haggett.
Here.
Alderperson Vansel.
Here.
Alderperson Yakub.
I'm here. So we have, first on the agenda, we have our minutes. If everyone's had a chance to review them, do we have a motion to approve, or are there any changes?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
I wasn't here.
Oh, I have to second. I'll second. All's in favor?
Aye.
All right.
It was a short meeting, I recall.
It was. Okay, number 3, discussion and possible action to change no parking hours. Well, hold on a second. Can we skip that? Can we move down to the Willow Walk and then Kanoki's, since they're here right now, and then we'll go back up? Does
Sure.
everyone have a problem with that? Okay, so we'll go to number 5, discussion and possible action on Willow Walk event on June 12th, 2014 at 9 a.m.
Hi, I'm Roger Pronto. I'm a volunteer for Willow River School, and we'd like you to approve our Willow Walk. It's part of the health and wellness curriculum, and it will be all of the students and teachers with parents walking on the same route that we use for our fun run and walk. And we have a police officer that's going to be, hopefully, well, there'll be an officer controlling 2nd Street. And 1st Street will police that on our own with parent volunteers. And it starts at 9 a.m., and we're hoping to be done by 10:30 to 10:45 at the latest. And it will be a rain or snow event.
No kidding, right? Didn't you do this event last year?
We did. This is a walk,
Yeah.
and it's the whole school. Our other is a fun run and walk, which we hold on Saturdays, which we'll be doing again in the future.
Did you do that twice last year then? I felt like you did something.
It came together as seeming as twice, but
Okay.
it was like spring and fall.
All right.
Because we moved it to the fall.
All right.
Questions?
I don't know. Did Marty, everything look good to you?
Yeah, this has not been an issue.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
When's the date?
It's the 12th. It's a Thursday. It's the last day of school.
Oh, okay. Weekday.
Everybody good?
Yeah, I'll move to approve.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All's in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your
Thank you.
time.
Have a good walk.
All right. Let's go down to David Kanoki's. Discussion and possible action to barricade Locust Street between 2nd and 3rd Street on the 3rd Sunday of each month, May through September 2014. That's changed, right? Nope, that's the same. For the Locust Street car show, something we do every year. But Dave, go ahead.
Well, I think as you look closer, let me start over here. I've changed it to Friday nights to Sunday afternoons. 2 reasons. One, the parking downtown has become difficult, more and more difficult. Some weeks I'd have a nice car, full street of cars. The next time might not be so many. Some of the businesses on the street were, like, you have to close on Fridays. Thought about dropping it altogether. Some of the car guys said, try to keep it going, and we started looking at Sundays. Not a lot of car shows on Sundays. The parking's much easier downtown. Everything's free parking. Businesses are closed on Locust Street, pretty much everyone. Everyone I've talked to on Locust is all for it.
Okay.
It just kind of made sense to do it on Sunday afternoon, 1 to 5. Also try to get more interest to close the street, to have a half a street full of cars and still a lot of unavailable parking. I'm going to try to get approved a classic or custom bike show too with it. Donnie Smith had a show last week in the cities, and the big talk was nobody has a bike show. And there's people who are bike enthusiasts, they are quite a sight to see some of these V8s and stuff. So I'm promoting it that way, if you approve it, hopefully to get a street full so that it looks like it's a worthy cause.
When you have a bike show, you get a lot of people that come too.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been asking, don't stop it. But I kind of feeling as a business person and looking at downtown, it's hard to close a street on a Friday night when I'm only getting half a street full.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
appreciate that.
because it's getting worse. And then Sunday afternoons, it's just a lot different kind of atmosphere.
Yep.
And so I'd like to get more people there and more
Yeah.
bikes and more cars. So I'm looking to do it on. It states the 3rd Sunday of the month, except for June. The third Sunday is the 15th, with his Father's Day. looking at some other car shows, we decided to do it on the 22nd, which is the 4th. So that's the only one. Otherwise, it's the
Do you
3rd,
still-
except that one.
Do you still have the barricades down there?
No, you guys, the city takes them back. Again, everything else would be the same.
Yeah.
2 barricades at each end. We'd put a barricade at the postmarked grill there in their parking lot. One at the Dilly Dally alley there, and then a couple of garbage cans. What else is there? We put up the no parking signs, Sunday morning. Wouldn't really get enforcing no parking until like 12:30, so it's in the afternoon, 1 o'clock it gets going. If there's not a huge crowd, try to squeeze them up to the one end if there's not a big crowd. But I don't know, I figured I'm going to give another go here and see what happens this year with the Sundays. Again, I think there's more, the downtown people and people in the city like it,
Yeah.
like the event. I wish I could get more of a
Well, I think you
street
might
fall.
get more. You might get more of a crowd on a Sunday afternoon, especially because a lot of,
I know the bike,
Yeah.
there's a lot of bikes out on Sundays.
well, just
And-
the demographic that's out on a Sunday afternoon too might have more of an interest as well.
But otherwise, it stays the same. Another plug, the Rotary wanted me to do it. They sold the most tickets one night they had in a long time.
Okay.
They really liked coming, so the Rotary want to come a couple nights or a couple times.
Okay. What does anyone have a problem?
No, I'm good.
Rich?
I don't have a problem. Is there any, I know this has been done before, and we've done it on Fridays. Is there any liability issues here? And I hate to bring this up, but I'm thinking about the case in California where the guy ran through the barricades and injured these people, and the city of Los Angeles became liable for this because of the closing of the streets. And I don't want to make a big deal about this. It's just that sticks in my mind as the city becoming liable for an unexpected incident. And it was because the city chose to close that street, and they then took liability for the people who got injured. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen here, but it's a question. It's a question I have in my mind, and we're a little bit more protected. It's not as fast traffic, and I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just a question I have.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be a question for Kath. I don't know. Do you know? No.
I guess I don't know either. The only reason it brought up my mind was the incident in California,
Yeah.
where the people got run over because the street was barricaded, and somehow the city became liable for that.
That could be a case, and I'm just to discuss that with. I mean, that could be the case then in block parties and
It could
anything
be.
else, right?
Yeah, it could be, yeah. And I don't have the answer, okay? So I don't have the answer, it's just a question. I
I'm
have.
guessing that we wouldn't be liable based on all the other things that we deny claims on. So I think based on Wisconsin municipal law, that it's hard to sue a city for just about anything.
Well, I think with the, obviously, we're not lawyers, but I would hope that when you have city barricades up, you would think that common sense, but you don't want. We're not. That doesn't mean anything.
I'm not trying to.
No, and I appreciate your comments, and I do.
I like the event myself, and so I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know the answer to the question.
With the new bike / classic car show, I'll have some type of letter that I'll give to the guys, like, okay, no burnouts, no horseplay. A lot of these guys aren't, if they got a bike that's worth $30,000-$40,000, they're not going to be, and no alcohol. I've always been that rule, you can't be out walking in the crowd with the beers and hop on a bike or your car. So but again, it doesn't stop somebody just driving through the barricades. That, again, common sense sometimes has gone out the window.
I guess maybe we just throw that up to Kathy or Catherine and say, what is it?
I could get a hold of Kathy before the council meeting and try to find that out.
Yeah, otherwise, I don't have a problem with it. It's just a question that came up in my mind.
Do you want to make a motion to approve, and if we find
Yeah.
out something different, we can take it off contingency?
Conditioned on the liability question.
Okay.
That's fair.
Is there a
Yeah, I'll
second
second
on
that, sure.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. So if Marty finds out before, he'll let you know, Dave, because it's
Okay.
something that you have to come here for, then he'll let you know.
And the change is 1 to 5?
Yes.
1 to 5 on Sunday afternoons, and versus 12 to, or, I don't remember. Yes, 1 to 5. We'll just go with that.
I think it's going to be a better time.
I think so, too.
I think it's almost a safer time in regards to your liability thing, so.
Yeah, hopefully just more people, more cars, and
Yeah.
I just feel bad when there's not a street full, because I know people want to park on there.
Yeah, we appreciate
All right,
that.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move it back up then, sorry. Discussion and possible action to change no parking hours near Trinity Academy.
The principal from Trinity Academy approached me and asked me if it would be possible to change the hours of the no parking on the east side of 5th Street, right next to the building. It'd probably be, I think it's the 1200 block. The reason for it is that they have their driveway, which is one way in, one way out. And when you have vehicles parked there in that zone after 3 o'clock, and you got parents, they start to line up, come in to get their kids, and then they drive out. Well, then you've got parents that are parked up against the curb, and then you've got parents that are in the middle of the street waiting to turn in, and parents are trying to come down the other side, and there's cars parked on the other side. It just makes a bigger congestion. In fact, I was there, and I kind of witnessed that myself. So if we were to take that no parking and make it extended until 3:45, then the parents that want to turn in can move over to the curb before they make their turn in, slowly moving through, and that will allow traffic to be able to go up and down 5th Street without being impeded.
Okay, I don't mean to be like, yes, I do. All right, so for example, EP Rock, it's no parking from whatever time till 3. But people park there all day long. You know, so are we going to enforce this if we change it? And are they parking there during the no parking times anyways at Trinity?
No, they're not. There hasn't been an issue with that.
Okay.
What you're talking about over EP Rock is the one on the west side of 13th Street where
Yeah.
they're parking in front of the mailboxes.
Yes.
And we do issue tickets from time to time because parents just don't see it. Usually the problem we run into is that when school's letting out, we have parents that will park and sit in their vehicles across the street waiting for their kids to come out so they can pick them up.
Right.
That's the issue that we run into.
So, does that same issue at Trinity, where is it going to be the same?
I don't think so, because Trinity will not let the kids go out to the street. The parents have to pull into the driveway to pick up their kids. So the problem is that you have parents waiting out of the street to turn in so they can pick up their young ones. The Trinity won't let them walk out to the curb.
Okay.
And there is not, from what I can tell, when I was out there at 3:30 watching there, or 3:25 when they were doing the exchange, there wasn't a lot of cars parking there, but there was an occasional car that might come in there and park, according to the principal. So all they wanted to do was try to make this as easy as possible.
So they're adding another 45 minutes.
So if we change the sign, are we able just to change the numbers on the current sign, or?
Yeah, I don't think there would be any reason to put up a brand new sign up. All you had to do was just change the hours on it.
So can we just, if we're going to do this, why wouldn't we just make it to 4 and just make it easy on? Why 3:45 just seems kind of weird time. Do we do that normally?
Well, I think, that way if they have, like, right after school, if they were to have, like, parent-teacher conferences or something, there'd be some place for them to park instead of having to wait till 4 o'clock.
All right. Well, do you have any thoughts on this, Rich?
No, I'm in favor of it. I'm okay.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'm good.
I think it's trying to accommodate the
Right.
local school for.
No, that's fine as long as it's as we're watching it, because otherwise I think it's just the signs are pointless otherwise.
I will.
No, we're watching.
I'll move to approve the change of the no parking hours for Trinity Academy to
Is there a second?
3:45.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on. Okay. Next, discussion and possible action for traffic signage on Vine Street at 12th Street. Now, Mr. How do you say it? Wohlers, I always want to say Wolden. He had called me, he contacted me, I don't know if he said he tried calling you, Marty. He was going to be here tonight, but he can't get off of work. He can't find someone to take his shift. So he wanted to apologize for not being here. But otherwise, if you'd like to discuss this, Marty, what's going on?
Well, Mr. Wohlers has called me. He's had some issues, and obviously you can see from his letter, and then obviously you can see from the map that he's pressed down that he's run into some issues with people for some reason not being able to negotiate that curve going westbound on Vine Street near 12th. I know it's a gradual curve, but he has lost 3 or 4 trees over the last 3 or 4 years where people have gone up over the curb. His main.
Are they his trees or the city's trees?
Well, it's his trees. He puts the trees on the boulevard, but they're his trees. He's the one who planted them.
Well, technically,
But is he able to?
They're the city's trees.
He's not supposed to
Right,
be putting
but-
trees on the boulevard, though.
Well, but this was quite a while ago. These trees had been there for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
So.
You
they're not-
could plant them there, you just,
Right.
technically, they're the city's trees.
Right.
Okay.
But what he's concerned about, though, is that you've got a walking path that goes to the back of the school. There's a sidewalk on that side of the street, and then there's another crosswalk a little farther down. His concern is that, obviously with the kids going back and forth to school and so forth, that, somebody might jump that curb again and obviously cause a problem. So his suggestion is to put up a curve sign, one of those slow. I know the sign he's got up here shows a sharp curve. I do believe they make signs that just show a more gradual curve, which is what they have with the warning sign, recommended warning at 20 miles an hour, pedestrian crossing ahead. I'm not sure that 20 miles an hour is needed, but maybe the pedestrian crossing ahead sign along with that curve might be something that would help.
We have pedestrian crossing on 12th and Vine.
I believe we do farther down. I think what he's trying to do is warn people farther ahead where that sign might be, where it shows that the curve is up ahead.
So when
Right.
you come down Vine Street, I think it sneaks up on you.
Yeah,
honestly.
no, the curve, yeah, but the crossing, I don't
The
remember.
crossing too, I don't think you
Is-
can see it until you're almost on it.
Is it, it's not marked though, right?
But
I believe it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
How did I miss that today?
there's a
'Cause I went and
sign, there's a
looked.
sign and there's a
Right.
crosswalk.
Yeah, it comes
I
right
totally
across from
missed it.
the walking path towards 12th
I
Street.
guess I just proved this point, because I totally missed it when I went and looked today. So, okay, so, the 20 miles per hour,
He's not asking you to reduce it. He's asking, a lot of these signs, especially if you put them up in yellow, are suggested
Okay.
speeds.
because if otherwise we have to go through a whole scenario, don't we, to try, I don't want to
Exactly.
go through a whole traffic study to reduce it. That's
Right,
why I was.
exactly.
Based on his letter, it appears that most of this happens in the early morning hours or
Correct.
late evening hours. So we're
Sounds
talking
like
about-
when school's in session and school's out.
Yeah, it's talking about nighttime hours here.
He's talking like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So
Kind of like Octagon House hours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for me, it becomes a directional problem as opposed to an informational problem. I don't think we need to put, this is only a suggestion. You're not trying to provide information at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You're trying to provide direction for these people so that they know where they're going.
Right.
And what I would think could be a little bit better, what I would like to see maybe, are the yellow and black arrow signs along that curve pointing in the direction of the curve. You know how you do when you
Yeah,
make the curve?
yes.
You know how they have on the highways and
They
we've
have
got
like
them up on...
on by
the hill
Fremont
here.
Street
Yeah,
there.
by Fremont Street, where your directional arrows are pointing you around the corner. So your headlights are beaming off of these yellow signs with the arrows pointing you in the direction of the curve.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea.
And you can put 3 or 4 of those around that curve, and you're kind of giving directional information for people.
And you're kind of giving a blockade before you hit the
Yeah,
tree.
yeah. Before you hit the tree, you're going to have to run
You're
down the
gonna hit
signs.
those.
But I think that would help a little bit at the nighttime hours.
I think that makes sense. I think that makes better sense, I guess I should say it like that, because,
I don't think you're reading signs at night.
right, but those reflect right at you. They're like right there in your face.
These
Like I
arrows.
said, Mr. Wallers was just making this as a suggestion. He's just trying to come up with some way to
Right.
Yeah,
let people know there's a curve there and start, try to be more attentive.
yeah.
I would second that if you made that into a motion for, what do you think, John? I think that's a
It works for me.
It's not-
I
it's
don't know
not
if he's
in-
going to be all thrilled about having a whole bunch of signs there now.
well, you only probably need on that
Yeah,
curve.
trees and,
On the curves on 3 signs.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean,
don't see
he's
it.
not thrilled about his trees getting knocked down right now,
right.
so his
Yeah.
options are trees knocked
No, I
down
think
or
it's a
the
great
signs
idea.
that we
and you're
decide
right.
on.
At that time of night, and I've seen other people have issues with pulling into driveways where they thought it was a driveway and it was a snowbank, and there's all kinds of weird stuff that happens on Pine Street.
And so the pedestrian crossing sign, to me, doesn't seem to make much sense with the hours of where the problem is, because who's people walking at that
Well-
time of night? I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
There's not been,
People
has anyone been
people
hit
are booking
there?
pretty good by the time they hit that second one, and that is if
But
it's
it-
not marked, it is marked already.
But has
so-
anyone been hit there is my question. Has there ever been an issue on that
I don't
crossing?
think anybody's been hit at that location.
Or, I mean, there's never been an issue of concern, so to, is my,
I'm trying to, at night, it's not an issue, obviously, because there's not a lot of people walking around at that time of the hour.
well, what would you like to do, Rich? You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we put up three, I don't know what they call these, directional arrow signs around the curve.
Boulevard arrows, we'll
Around the-
call them.
Yeah, whatever they call those, directional arrow signs around the curve there, to help people understand there's a curve coming and direct them in the proper direction.
Yeah, I'll second that. I like that as a better idea. So it's lower and your headlight, right?
It's going to be more functional. It
Yeah.
just is.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, excellent. Good idea, Rich. Okay, back to my. All right, I skipped around, so now I have to think. 1, 2 is done, 3 and 4 is done. Discussion of possible, okay, 7, discussion of possible action on traffic safety issue in the 400 block of Orange Street. I would just like to put an input in quick before we discuss this. I know Marty and I, we've discussed this before, but it's come to my attention that the problem was mostly with the water department vehicles, not other vehicles, and with the concern expressed at council about contacting neighbors and stuff. I know that Tim Caruso has informed his water department to use that as a one-way street. So I don't know if we want to move forward with any signage at this time, or just see what happens if that. It seems like the problem's taken care of with that. It doesn't seem like it's happening with regular vehicles. It was just happening with this situation.
Well, that we know of. I mean, you know, it is a safety. It is a blind spot. You can't argue that. When there's cars parked there, it's a blind spot.
Right.
I could show you pictures of my truck where the hood is at the roof line of my truck. You cannot see that sidewalk when there's cars parked there. So in my opinion, it's still an issue. You know, do we need to make the whole alley one way? Probably not. Could we just make that little chunk one way? We could consider that. But there's only 2 houses at the other end of the alley. Mm-hmm. So it's not a huge, I think there's 3 driveways total that would be affected by the direction of the alley.
Well, did we talk to those homes?
I have not had a chance to talk to anybody.
I have not sent out, because I didn't find out that I was supposed to send out the letters until it was kind of late. And I don't have those addresses, so I'd have to find them from somebody else.
Just to bring up a little history, this came out earlier this winter from one of the water department guys, and the people that are parking in the parking lot at the daycare and at community daycare, those cars do not belong to the daycare that were parked there. They belong to that business that's right on the corner in the old church. I went and talked to them, and they pretty much said, hey, we can park anywhere we want to park. You know, basically, they wouldn't. It's when you come out, if the last parking spot would be eliminated, like put a sign, no parking, you'd have good vision.
But that parking spot is a private parking lot.
It is a private parking
So we
thing.
have nothing to do with
you
that.
can't really, the city can't say, hey, put no parking signs up there. You know?
And they're not the ones causing the problem.
No, it's the people
So,
parking there
Yeah.
from that business, and they just kind of flat refuse to.
So
So that's where it is.
Right.
That's why it came up to here.
So that's, to me, there's nothing we're going to do about the parking lot because it's private.
And I mean, that was why the reason was because of that car, you couldn't see the kids coming down the sidewalk
Right.
when you're coming out of the alley going north.
How many complaints have we ever had coming down that side? One? This is the first one?
This is the first one I've heard.
I know.
Do you have any thoughts on this? Because I really, if the water department's handled it internally, I'd like to see
See what happens.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I see it.
The water department there has 2 ways out. They can go out onto 5th Street there, or they can go back out the other way and come out
Yeah.
the other way.
Rich?
Yeah, the only, I don't know how bad a problem it is, but I have a thought that maybe if we were going to do something, we would put a sign up to warn the pedestrians to watch for a blind alley that they're approaching. So it would be in the parkway, it would be next to the sidewalk, and it would warn pedestrians going down the sidewalk to be careful of the blind alley approaching.
Like the one here.
Like, yeah, so instead of warning the cars, we'd be warning the pedestrians to be careful, because you've got a blind alley here.
And it's a hill. Apparently, the
And
kid
it's-
was on a skateboard or a bike or something like that. There's
I
been
drove down it, yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
hill there, and yeah, right.
I don't, that's just a thought.
Well, it
Maybe
would be no
warning the-
different than the one here by Kanoki's, you know? I mean, we don't have, you know, it's not one way and,
That's true.
you know, so.
But-
Pedestrians.
But we warn the pedestrians, and don't we warn the drivers as well? Watch for pedestrians.
Well, we have a sign that says pedestrian, yeah,
For the drivers.
yeah,
So the
Come out of
drivers,
the alley,
what,
yeah.
maybe you should do one for each?
Why not?
sure. I mean, I'd rather do that than
That'd be fine.
one
That'd
way.
solve it. That would
Just
take
sign
care
up
of it.
for, well, let's just mimic what we have at the Canokia's Alley here and,
Okay.
or driveway or whatever you want to call it. So,
Is that a motion?
sure.
I'll second it.
Mimic the signage that I have coming out of the Canokia. Well, I don't even know what you call that lot, so.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's the-
You seconded that?
I did,
Okay,
yeah.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that is
Rich is on fire today, man.
moving on. Rich is just, yeah, he is. That's what happens when it's the last public safety meeting for
But because
us.
I've missed two, I thought I had to contribute more this time.
Yes, yes. EMS and fire department
Take it.
and police department updates. Kim,
I don't have anything.
well, okay then. We know what's coming up on Sundays. You want to update us on that or anything else, Dave? You want to, Sunday's event and,
The pancake breakfast, that's the Hudson Fire Department has got a pancake breakfast this Sunday. And I would like to welcome you all there and have some good pancakes and sausage and scrambled eggs and goodies. As you know, I have missed a lot of meals in my day, but it's a good thing. And since this being my last public safety building, I want to thank all you people here for all the years, and hopefully we've saved some lives by doing our things here. I am officially retired the 30th of this month, so this is my last
Congratulations.
public safety meeting.
congratulations.
Thank you, and
Can we add something with this carbon monoxide smoke detector stuff that I just experienced over last week? Because I know every year you talk about changing the batteries at, daylight savings, but I don't know if you've ever mentioned, because I think I would have retained it by now, but maybe you have, that after how many years should you replace your smoke detector?
well,
carbon
if you're
monoxide detector?
you're talking about two different kinds of detection. The best carbon monoxide detectors are the ones that plug into the outlet, separate from the smoke detectors.
Okay.
And those are electronic kind, and you can get the cheaper battery kinds like smoke detectors too, but you're talking two separate units. If they're the cheap battery kinds, they're probably good for 3 to 5 years, and you got to throw the whole unit away and buy a new one because the sensor in there deteriorates.
Right.
The plug-in ones or electric ones are probably good anywhere from 8 to 10 years. So kind of use that as guidelines, replace them, and you should have one in each floor of your house. So we got a one-story floor, you should have two in the house, one in the basement upstairs, and so on and so forth. And they can, either place they can do them. They have new ones now that come out that are a combination of smoke detector / carbon monoxide detector. I have never heard any pro or cons, good or bad. I guess they work also. So
I hope
there's
so.
a couple options that you'd have that you want to use on those.
All right, thank you for that.
And you only, I'm going to add this one thing. You only need them if you have a fuel burning device in your house. I had a guy call me here a number of years ago. He said, I have an all electric home. I said, you don't need them. If you got electric range, electric dryer, electric heat, you don't need a CO detector.
Okay.
But if you have any of the following, even a gas log, everything else like a gas log, you have a CO detector.
Thank you for that. Marty?
As you saw at the council meeting, we have 2 new officers that started. They're going through FTO training right now, and they can't get trained fast enough because I've already got one officer that's still off on light duty with his back. I have another one that's now on family medical leave for 30 days. And I have another one that informed me that probably at the end of the month he's going to have knee surgery. So I'm going to be down 3 officers again. So
So we
I've
had
been-
relief for 3 weeks?
I've been going through overtime like it's no tomorrow. The good bit of news is that after we got that grant awarded from DOT, I ordered and received yesterday that speed tracking device that we mount on poles. So this will be more discreet. I can keep it out longer. It'll probably give us a better accurate count on speeds on vehicles. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I just opened up the box, so I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I'm kind of excited to get that out and start doing some speed
Good.
surveys on it. So,
Excellent. Excellent.
and that's it.
We don't have any informational items. Is there any items for future agendas for the future Public Safety Committee, whoever that will be made up of?
Yeah, we'll leave it to the next guys.
Anything?
Or us again.
Anything? No? Okay, do we have a motion to, what, I would just like to thank the committee for their hard work for the last year. It's been fun, so we'll see what happens next week. Good job, everybody. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
For a second. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.